Okay, good morning, everybody. It's good to see so many on our Toolkit Tuesday. Today we have James Campoy. James is a business development manager. James's passion is to empower people to grow their business through education. He has been with People's Mortgage for over 5 years and a go-to resource for social media, marketing, events, and branding. Let's welcome James. I'm the only one speaking, so there we go.
That's okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me here to teach you a little bit about Instagram Reels. Today, I'm going to show you kind of navigating through
they're recording it. I may not stay on.
What the whole Instagram ecosystem looks like, and just to get you familiar with how every button works and what the function of everything is, so you can kind of go in and play around in the Instagram Reels world. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, start broadcast. Okay, can you hear me and see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let me go to Instagram. So this, okay, excuse me.
You're stupid.
There we go. I'm just trying, when I switch to Instagram, Zoom is trying to, oh, there we go. I can reduce the screen there. Okay, so you can still see my Instagram screen?
Yes.
Okay, so when you open up Instagram, this is what you're going to see. And the first part, you're going to see your feed of all the people that you're following. And there's two ways to get to your Reels. The first way is on the upper right, there is a messaging button, a heart button, and a plus sign and a square. The plus sign and a square is where you're going to see where you can do a post, a story, a reel, or a live. So these are the four options you have. Another way to get to your Reels is by going to your profile, and on the upper right is that plus button again. When you click on that plus button, you're gonna see all the different options that you have for what you wanna post, whether it be a reel, a post, a story highlight, and so on. So we're gonna go ahead and open up Reel. And this is the Reel ecosystem. So a little bit about this. On the top part, you have your X on the upper left. This is obviously going to close out your window and bring you back to your Instagram profile. In the middle there is your flash. A lot of people should be familiar with, whether turning it on and off and turning it to auto. It defaults to off. Most of the time, you don't really need that flash on for Reels, but it's there for you if you need it. And on the upper right, there's a little gear. That's going to be your settings. So this is where you can change your settings for what you want the Reels to do when you open it up. So right in the middle there on the left, you see Reels. And here you can have an option to, I turn this on. This is always a good option to have. It defaults to off, but I always like to put it on. This is for you to automatically save your Reels to your phone gallery. So that way you don't have to go back to your Instagram archive account and pull it down if you need to use it. So I always suggest to turn that on. Same thing with stories. You can go into stories and check all the different settings that are in here. Again, right here, save story to camera roll. I always like to have that on. And then this is usually on, but just make sure that this is on as well, save story to archive. Instagram does keep an archive of all your stories. So those two things are always great to have on. And then also where it says controls, there's default to front camera. You can have it default to where when you open up Reels, it'll automatically use the front selfie camera. So that way it'll just be ready for you to just start talking and making your video. I prefer not to do that because sometimes the angle of the camera is not very beneficial and it gives you a little, you're like, whoa. So I just like to take that's just a personal preference of mine, is turning that default camera off. And then you see left side, right side. This is telling you where you want the buttons of the Instagram Reel navigation. So let's switch it to right side. And then I'm gonna hit done. And you can see the audio and length and speed and buttons on the right. I'll live on the right side, but if we go back to settings and we do left side, and this is gonna switch it back to the left side. So these are just preferences that that I recommend just kind of going through it at first and seeing what is beneficial for you. If you're left-handed, might be beneficial to have everything on the left side versus the right side. And then, so let's go ahead and go through those buttons. So those buttons, there's the music notes. This is where you can pick your audio selection. You have where it says 90. This is where you can pick the length of time for your video. And then the 1 times is your speed. The grid is a layout of how you want your video to go. And I'll click on each one so you can see what it does. And then there's a little stopwatch. That's where you can set the timer of your video of what you want it, how long you want it to go for. So let's click on the music notes. This is going to open up the music list. So Instagram already put some playlists together for you. I have a couple recently saved tracks that I like. I suggest that when you are looking at Reels on Instagram, if you do find a video that has a song that you really like, you can always save that audio for you to use for your own reel. And let me just show you how to do that real quick. I'm going to exit out of Reels here. And then I'm going to go to the bottom and the very middle where it has a little play button at the bottom. This is going to go to your Reels for all the people that you follow. And let me see, let me turn down the volume here.
I mean, it's not terrible.
So what do you do for a living?
Let's say, I'm just trying to find one. Okay, so this one has some music. On the lower right, you'll see a little picture frame here. That's gonna show you the audio that's being used for that particular video. And then this is showing you other videos that are using that same audio. So let's say you did like that particular song, you're just gonna click save audio. So now it's saved. And then when you go back to your Reels, and then you click on audio, and then you click saved on the upper left, you'll see it popped up in your saved list right there. So that's always a good way to kind of get ideas on different music that's trending. If you see a video that has a lot of hits and a lot of views and likes, it's always recommended that, oh, maybe that's a trending audio, so maybe I want to use it for myself. So go ahead and save it for a later use. The For You section, this section is based on, Instagram is basing it on all the people that you follow on Instagram and what music they're using. And it also is based on what music you have on your phone, whether you're using Apple Music, Pandora, or Spotify. You'll notice that some of your music does pop up in here. It just kind of reads the algorithm of your phone and of your Instagram account and kind of combines those together. The new release section is just all the new releases that are coming out right now for Instagram. And if you click on the see more on the right hand side, you can see the full list of all the new releases of music that's out there right now. And then original audio and fire up the grill. These are all different categories that Instagram is kind of putting together for you. You'll notice that as time goes by, these categories will change. And so you can just play around with various audio and see which one you like. Now, one thing I did want to point out for the music audio, you'll see the count, the amount of time under, you'll see the name of the track and then the person or the artist. And then you'll see 10, and then you'll see 8. And so that's telling you it's only a 10-second long snippet of that audio versus under this For You where it says Thing of Beauty, this first track is 3 minutes and 19 seconds. So let's say you had a video that was 30 seconds long and you used a track that only said 10 on it, on the top of the list where it said tassel amor, everything is content. That song is only going to play for 10 seconds. So that means your video is going to have 10 seconds of audio of music and then 20 seconds of silence. So you just want to keep that in mind if you want the full video to have a full audio from start to finish. You want to make sure that the time that is allowed for the music track is long enough to match your video. So now after the music, there's the 90. So you click on 90. This is telling you how long do you want your video? Do you want it to be a 15-second long video, a 30-second long video? I always default to at least 60 seconds, or you can do the 90-second. The reason I do this is because if you're recording a video and let's say you did it for 15 seconds and you start recording and you find that 15 seconds was way too short, you're gonna have to start all over. But if you default to 60 or 90, let's say your video ended up being 25 seconds long, then you would have enough time. The video would trim itself versus having to start all over and having to re-record. The one times is where you can adjust the amount, the time frame of your video, whether you want it to be sped up or slowed down. 4 times, all the way up to 4 times is more of like a time lapse. And then if you do 0.5 or 0.3, it's more of like a slow-mo. I would suggest to just kind of play around with that to see how you want your videos to look. As far as let's say if you wanted to do a walkthrough of a house, you might want to do a 2 or 3 times. So that way, as you're walking through the house, you'll get a lot more of the house in a 30-second long video versus doing a 1 times where you might find yourself being cut off and you're not showing enough of the house that you wanted to showcase in your reel. And then the grid, if you tap on the grid, it's gonna automatically default to a vertical 2 split. So what this does is it's gonna record on the left-hand side first, and then it's gonna record on the right-hand side second. This is in order for, it allows you to have 2 kind of different type videos playing at the same time. So this is just depending on what you want your video to be like. If you wanted, let's say on the left side, a walkthrough of the house, and on the right side, it would be you talking through the walkthrough. That could be an option. Just below the grid, there's another, you just click on that double vertical line there, and you can see there's a bunch of other grids that you can choose from. You can do a 3 split, a 4 split, or even a 6 split. And so it can get kind of crazy and wild. But it just depends on what your idea is for your video and the creativity that you want to use for it. And then lastly, the timer. The timer allows you to do a countdown. On the upper right, you see countdown 3 seconds. If you tap on that 3 seconds, it can change it to 10 seconds. So let's go ahead and leave it at 3 seconds. And then this pink bar is telling you how long do you want Instagram to automatically record for you. So this is very beneficial for you as you record on your own and you don't have someone recording for you. So let's say you wanted a 4-second long frame of you doing something fun, whether you be like jumping around or whatever. So let's hit set timer. And then what we're gonna do is see how the timer is now a colored button. That means that you have activated that timer. And so it's ready for you to use when you need to. So when you press on the white circle on the bottom middle, it's gonna start the timer, 3, 2, 1, and then it's gonna record for 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then that's gonna automatically kind of set in your reel. So if you can see, there's a little pink dash that's in that white ring around the circle. This is telling you that you have recorded that much of the entire ring. Once that ring is completely filled, then that's going to be the full 60 seconds of your video, or the 90 seconds, or however long you selected for your video frame. And then lastly, before we move on to the next step, is the filter. If you click on the filter right above the white circle, which is the 3 little stardust dots, you have here all these different filters that you can use. There are tons and tons of filters here. So I would recommend just kind of flipping through and seeing which ones are best for you, which ones kind of resonate with your personal style, whether it be a clean and crisp filter or kind of like an earthy tone filter or this kind of vintagey look here. What you can do is on the upper right above appearance, there's kind of like a single kind of asterisk. If you click that, it's going to show you other videos that are using that same filter. So you can kind of get an idea on what that filter looks like and what people are using it for. And then if you go back and you go to the upper left, you can bookmark that. And then once that's bookmarked, you can go to your bookmark and see that it is saved in your bookmarked filters here. So now you can also look at trending filters. There's a prism one. There's also just a reels category, just different filters that are for reels. And then there's another category for appearance. So these are just different types of filters that you can use. And I recommend just kind of playing around, seeing what's there, have fun with it. On the upper left, there's just on the left side of the bookmark here, there's a search bar. So if you click on the search, you can literally search anything from, let's say, if you just even typed in cloud, you can see all these different filters that are based around the term cloud. If you did even just places or a feeling, even happy, there's so many different filters. I was just kind of going through and just seeing what's out there. Have fun with it. These are meant to be fun videos for you to share with your followers. So just have fun with it. Even have a glass of wine and just kind of play around with it tonight. So let's say let's just fill in a little bit more of the video. So I'm gonna take a picture of this here. Oh, it's not going. I think Zoom won't let me record and use the camera at the same time. So I'm gonna set another timer here. Let it do it automatically. Okay, so let's say we're recording. Okay. Oh. Well, it doesn't like sharing screen and doing the video at the same time. Okay. Well, let's close out of that and do it again. Okay. Well, it really doesn't like it. Okay, let's try and let it do its thing, and then we can move on to the next step. And it's doing nothing. Okay, so let's try another way. Let's just add some photos and hopefully it'll let me move to the next step. So you can swipe up from the reels and you can access your photo gallery. On the upper right, you can select multiple images here. So you can select, and then let's just say you did a slideshow of various photos. I'm gonna hit next. It's gonna ask you to put some music to it, sure. Okay, so this is at the next step here. What you can do here is you can add various text. So let's start with from the left, you can choose to download and save this to your camera roll already and just have it saved for later. You can change your audio. From here, you can either select, so when you do have a video already playing, this would automatically be set to 100. This is for, you can control the volume of the video that you uploaded or that you recorded, and you can choose to reduce it all the way down if you don't want that. Let's say there was just background noise while you were recording, and you just reduce that down, and then the music on the right is what the track you picked. You can make sure that this is all set at 100, so that you can make sure that the music is playing, but the background music that's in your video is muted. And then also you can add a voiceover. And so it's going to show you all of your different frames that you have. And then once you hit record, you can start doing a voiceover of your video. And then you can also add some sound effects. And here you can add just various different, goat sound, plot twist, different kind of tiny violin, just stuff like that. So you can get really creative with the sound there. You also have an option to add an effect here if you forgot to add it at the beginning. So you can choose to just change the effects of what that looks like. And then you can also add any GIFs or stickers or anything like that. You can kind of add that here. You can expand it if you need to, just like you would with a story. And then also, I just wanted to show you, if you hold it, you can either, have it pinned or you can cancel, but you can pin it to a certain part of the video. You can also drag the bar left and right, and you can have it select where you want it to be pinned at in the video. And then if you go on the lower left here under edit clips, you can see where your different frames are. So you can kind of, if you don't remember which one was first and whatnot, you can kind of see how that kind of plays out across the board. And then if you click on, see on the lower left, you see how it says 824, it matches your sticker. If you click on that, it's going to show you the time frame that is going to appear on your video. So you can either take the left side or the right side, and you can adjust when you want that to appear. So let's say you don't want it at the front end of like where the cactus is, you want it to show in this section. So you just move it to the right, and then you're going to take the right side and you're going to move it in here, and then click down on the upper right. So as you can see, edit clips, as you can see, as the video plays over again, once it gets past, let's play here. And then let's click on here. Now you can see the 824 is in this section only, versus all the other sections don't have that 824. Same thing with the text here. So if you, on upper right, you have the text option. So the text option, let's say you're just doing text here, you have the fonts. You can change all your fonts here, just like you would with a story. And then also, if you click on the lines here, you can left justify, right justify, or center align your text. And then you can also click the colors. So the colors, it already automatically gives you some colors to choose from. It has different color palettes that you can pick. Or what you can do is you can select that eyedropper. And the eyedropper allows you to pick any color of your picture or video of what you want that font to be, so that way you can kind of match your video.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just like, it gives you so many different options. You can add different effects to your text, and you can add various little animations to it if you want to. And then once again, click on, let's say you wanted this text where the 824 is, but in a different frame. So you don't want it to overlap when the video is playing. So on the lower left, you see the text that's right next to 824. You're going to click on that text. And again, you can select which frame you want it to show up on. So if you go here, you can see the text shows up on the first frame, the 824 shows on the second frame, and so on. And then lastly, if you go to edit clips, you have the option to reorder your different frames. So you can click reorder, and you can move these from left to right, right to left, and however you want to reorder those. You can also just click and hold each frame, and it can do the same thing. You have the option to delete tracks. If you want to just click that minus, you can delete a certain part of that video. And then once you are happy with your video, you just hit next, and then it's going to go straight to getting ready to post it. So here you'll write your caption, put in your hashtags that you would like to. It allows you to also share to your feed. This is going to allow you to share. Not only will the reels live in your reels section, but if you select this, it'll also live in the whole the grid of all your posts. And then just going through, you can tag people, add a location. Adding in a location is a good idea to do. It doesn't have to be a specific address. It can just be as easy as the city and state that you're in. This is known for Instagram is it's known as what's it called? Geotagging. So Instagram is very it pushes reels a lot for you to find new followers, especially people who have never heard of you before. So it's a good way to get new followers that are kind of out of the blue. If you add location, the geotagging, it just kind of helps Instagram kind of really push out to that specific area. So that way it can just really help find those new followers for you. And then also recommend on Facebook. So if you click on recommend on Facebook, this is going to show up on your Facebook, but it's going to show as your Instagram handle. And so when people if people are on Facebook and they see your video, they click on your profile and then it'll take them to Instagram. So that's an option that you can do if you'd like to. You can do it for all reels for the future or just this reel for one time. So that's always a good option to do. And then also lastly, save as draft. So before you share it, let's say you're not quite ready to share it yet. So you just click save as draft. And you see it says draft saved on the lower left. A draft is saved in your camera roll, but if you go to your profile, you'll see just above your post, you have post, and then you have reel. And you'll see that it's saved as a draft here. And then you can always go back to your drafts and click on it again, and it'll go back to here ready to post. So that is Reels in a nutshell. Are there any questions?
Anybody have any questions? Does anybody use Instagram Reels?
I just made my first reel while doing it with you.
Oh, you did?
That's exciting.
That's awesome. I love that. And that's the best way to learn. Like just literally go through all the buttons and just click and play and see what's available and what you can and can't do. And the more you kind of get familiar with it, the easier it is. I was intimidated by it as well, but as I kind of just forced myself to just kind of do it, and I started out with just pictures. I didn't even do the video part. I just did little picture slideshows. So I was getting familiar with how to put text and music to it, and then once I was familiar with that, then I started incorporating video. And then as far as trying to think of different things to post, like, well, what kind of reel should I make? Just think about the different things that you constantly are answering to your clients or the followers on your Instagram, and just start from there. And it might help you kind of get some content as far as like the let's say it was like the top 5 things that your buyers always ask you, or your sellers always ask you. Then make 5 different videos of that, and just go from there. You can do it as a funny kind of joke, or you can be really serious with it. It just depends on how you want to kind of portray yourself to your followers.
Cool. Anybody have questions for James?
And if you do have questions later on too, if you kind of take a stab at it and you find yourself kind of lost, just feel free to have Christine get in touch with me. She can connect us together, and I'm more than happy to get on the phone with you and help you kind of walk you through it again and help you figure that out.
Okie dokie. Well, sounds great. James, thank you so much for enlightening us today on Instagram Reels. We appreciate that. And we hope you get to feeling better.
Thank you. Thank you. You're on day today.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.